Right, so tonight we're going to do the second one of 3 meditations on the moral discipline of restraint. This time we're going to learn about meditating on restraining ourselves from 4 types of non-virtuous action of speech, verbal non-virtue. Right, so I'll just begin. Do your preparatory practices and then begin. The essence of Dharma practice is to abandon non-virtue, practice whatever is wholesome, and gain control over our mind. If we are unable to do this, then our claim to have done a lot of meditation and many retreats is empty of meaning. If we meditated for a full year and then, upon examination, discovered that our delusions had not subsided at all and our mind was as wild as before, then that year of meditation was purposeless and produced little fruit. As Shakyamuni Buddha himself said, not to commit any evil action, to accumulate a wealth of excellent virtue, and to tame one's mind. This is the teaching of the enlightened ones. It is unwise to indulge in pleasures, thinking, at least I shall not die today, for without doubt the time will come when I shall become nothing. Alright, the first verse was from Shakyamuni Buddha, and the second verse was one of Shantideva's verses in Guided Bodhisattva's Way of Life. I'll repeat the Shakyamuni Buddha verse. Not to commit any evil action, to accumulate a wealth of excellent virtue, and to tame one's mind. This is the teaching of the enlightened ones. So it's not to discourage ourselves from doing meditation practice. As long as we put effort into some meditation practice, we'll definitely create the cause for a peaceful mind in the future. We'll definitely experience some positive results from having done our meditation practice. But if we're not practicing the moral discipline of restraint, then ultimately it's got no value, because we're either going to end up suffering in this life, having delusions in our mind in this life, being unpeaceful, and we will end up in the lower realms in our future lives too. So we really need to practice the moral discipline of restraint through our daily life. And then our meditation practices can yield excellent results, realizations, deep experience. The nature of our mind is like the pure blue sky. However, at present, our mind is obscured by the myriad clouds of delusion and our wild, disturbing thoughts. Only the practice of Dharma dispels these clouds of obscuration and allows the pure nature of the mind to shine forth freely. Anyone who has removed all traces of delusion from his or her mind and has achieved a state of complete purity is called a Buddha. Therefore, no matter what practice we may be doing, we should check to see that it is actually decreasing our delusions and bringing our mind under control. We should keep this criterion in mind at all times and judge our practices accordingly. Again, only the practice of Dharma dispels these clouds of obscuration and allows the pure nature of the mind to shine forth freely. So we need to practice the moral discipline of restraint, amongst the 3 types of moral discipline you need to read about in Geshe Kelsang's books. You need the moral discipline of restraint, higher moral discipline motivated by renunciation and bodhicitta, higher concentration motivated by renunciation or bodhicitta, and higher wisdom motivated by renunciation or bodhicitta. It's very joyful minds. So we can't get high wisdom realizations without first practicing higher moral discipline. Then we shall experience the pure nature of our mind, free from obscurations. For someone who has taken the bodhisattva vows, the morality of restraint means to refrain from all defilements and faults. A layman who has not yet taken the bodhisattva vows practices the moral discipline of restraint by refraining mainly from the 10 non-virtuous actions. These include the 3 non-virtues of body, killing, stealing and sexual misconduct, the 4 of speech, lying, slandering, using harsh words and idle gossip, and the 3 of mind, being covetous, having ill will or malice, and holding wrong views. If we practice restraint with respect to our body, speech and mind, we shall be able to ensure that these non-virtuous actions are not committed and shall therefore be free from their harmful effects. It may be beneficial to give a brief outline of the 10 non-virtuous actions in terms of the 4 factors needed to bring each action to full fruition. These 4 are 1. The object of the action, 2. Our intention while performing the action, 3. The type of action itself, and 4. The completion of the action. If we understand these 4 factors well, we shall be in a position to decrease the strength and eventually eliminate all our negativities. That's what we need to do. Eliminate all our negativities, because we need to actually practice pure moral discipline to attain another human rebirth. We need to make strong prayers, going for refuge to Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. Purely motivated prayers will naturally have pure motivation if we do these meditations. If we do the chanted meditations, heart jewel, and so on, we'll naturally have a pure motivation because we're concentrating on the meaning of these prayers. And then we'll have stainless prayer, and we'll have pure moral discipline, we'll have a precious human rebirth in which we have the opportunity to practice the Buddha Dharma again. But if we don't do those things, if we've not eliminated the negativity from our mind and stopped doing these 10 non-virtuous actions, then can't guarantee that we'll even be born human. Could be born an animal, hungry spirit, even hell. Whatever is ripening when we die, we have no control when we die. So we need to generate pure moral discipline now, understanding each of these 10 non-virtuous actions. So tonight, covering 4 verbal non-virtues. So, lying. The object can be any other person. 2. Our intention must be to distort the truth by claiming that something is true while it is actually untrue, and so forth. 3. The action is to utter falsehood or even to mislead by means of bodily actions. 4. The full completion of this action occurs when the full untruth is accepted by the object as being true. Slander. 1. The object must be 2 or more people. 2. Our intention must be to cause disunity between these people. 3. The action is to exert effort in spreading rumours, sowing doubt, and so forth. 4. The full completion of this action occurs when our slanderous statements are heard by others, and as a result, disharmony between them arises or increases. Harsh words. 1. The object can be any other person. 2. Our intention is to speak out of anger in a rough manner. 3. The action is to speak harshly to another. 4. The completion of this action is when another person merely hears these words. Gotta speak gently, kindly to others. Idle gossip. This is one where you can waste so much time. So much of your precious human life can just be wasted with idle gossip. So be careful. Social media, even listening to the radio. If you mind to just be absorbed into idle chatter, just wasting our human potential. Television. Talking nonsense to people you know because you're lonely and you just want someone to chat nonsense to. And you go for refuge, really. Idle gossip. The object can be any other person. 2. Our intention is to utter nonsense or even to sing without any purpose. It's okay to sing with a purpose. Just not got to distract ourselves with meaningless things, haven't we? 3. The action is to communicate this nonsense or purposeless speech to others. It's polluting someone else's life if you do that. It's irritating as well. 4. The full completion of this action occurs whenever these words are spoken. So we need pure moral discipline and restraint, and restrain ourselves from committing these 4 verbal non-virtues: lying, slander, harsh words, idle gossip. Slander is sometimes called divisive speech. Idle gossip or idle chatter. You can read about them, Joyful Path of Good Fortune or Introduction to Buddhism. Right, excuse me. So, last bit is some verses from Shantadeva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. Chapter 2, verses 49 to 52. Overcome with fear, I offer myself to Arya Samantabhadra, and I offer myself into the service of Arya Manjushri, to protect Avalokiteshvara, who acts unerringly out of compassion. I utter this desperate cry for help. Oh, please protect me, an evildoer. Seeking refuge from my heart, I pray to Arya Akashagarbha, to Arya Ksitigarbha, and all the compassionate protectors. In essence, you can think all of these Buddhas are one with Jason Karpa, or you can think Lama Losang Tabuando Shesheng. Chapter 10, verses 57 to 58, conclusion of the 10th chapter. May the Buddha Dharma, the sole medicine for all suffering and the source of all happiness, be materially supported and honoured and remain for a very long time. I prostrate to Manjushri, through whose kindness my virtuous intentions arise. And I prostrate to my spiritual guide, through whose kindness my virtuous qualities increase. This concludes that discussion of practicing the moral discipline of restraint.